Welcome back to Yaki TV. My name is Roy Shepherd, and I've been joined by some expert communicators. We have Dario Antolin, who's the newsletter editor, and we've also got Florin Dan Popescu, who's the social media editor. Let's start with the old way of communicating, which is via a newsletter. What does the newsletter offer readers?
Well, thank you very much, Ron. I mean, the newsletter has a lot to offer. It has a new format, a new interactive format, and it adds, contributions for, new meetings, also videos, because it has the interactive format, videos about key opinion leaders, about, any happening event within the EAACI, and also important messages for the members.
As an editor, this must be very difficult for you, and I'm being serious now. There is so much happening in this field.
Mm-hmm.
As an editor, you can't include everything. So how do you actually choose what gets coverage and what doesn't get coverage? Because that's the age-old problem an editor has.
Well, this is a teamwork. I mean, along with Florin, along with Karin Hoffman, who is the Vice President of Communication, Edward Knoll, who was until today the chair of the Science Committee, and also the headquarters. We all work together to have, the outlay of the newsletter and all the contents.
So each one is sort of supporting the other, and it's far more integrated communication strategy.
Yes, we embrace the power of teamwork and efficient communication in order to drive synergy,
Content creation is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
How open are you to contributions from your readers and from academia?
Well, I think it's very interesting because, the contributions could be made from anyone who is interested. Of course, we have to discuss within the team, and we all agree what it's going out in every issue. Anyone who is interested, of course, to offer things to the members, it's welcome, of course.
So who are the readers, and has the readership changed, and is it evolving?
Mm-hmm.
And I also have to ask you, how do the readers respond to the new format, which is more interactive?
Well, it's a pretty new format. It's just released like 3 months ago. And, the new format is a flip book, which is, within your with your computer or with your laptop or even with your iPad or even with your mobile phone, you can check the newsletter, and it's been, very well welcomed. And of course, it has, we have to review how the data is and the users are increasing. But
I've got to ask you, what's the age profile of the reader?
Well, any member, of course, from maybe 26, even younger people, because we also have, students in medicine who are looking at the newsletter, but also any stakeholder. Also companies, but also patient organizations, and but of course the members who are the core of EAACI are reading it.
So it's a very broad remit.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to be able to be relevant to all of these different readers, that's quite a challenge. But the integration, the social media is now everywhere. Everybody's got apps. Everybody is consuming relevant content, a lot of irrelevant stuff as well. But how have you seen social media change and evolve over the time that you've been involved? Because you've been a social media geek or guru for a long time.
Let's say that I have been in Yaki since 20 years ago, and back then there were no social media at all. We have only, email, floppy disk, and CD.
Floppy disk.
Yes,
you need to Google that if you're under the age of 30, what a floppy disk is.
Yes, so there were no social media at all. But now all those platforms allows us to connect with each other and share content. That's very important. So we cannot imagine a world without social media, without smartphones and tablets.
So what does social media contribute for EAACI members? It's great just to have it, but we are overwhelmed by so many different distractions. How do you make sure that the social media content for EAACI is actually worth people spending their eyeballs on?
So it is important to choose the right content for the right people and for the Yaki members. We have scientific, high-quality content that we provide from all our meetings, but also from the Yaki newsletter, from all the position papers, books, initiatives, all the activities. So we choose different content for different type of social media because, because there are social media more visual interactive. So we use more data visualization content on that. That's very important because people now spend less reading and more watching, you know. That's, you know, it's good in a way because it's faster, but sometimes we have to have also content.
We all know that big data is what it's all about. And you must study what the data tells you about the social media content that you create. What have you found to be the most viewed or the most sort of studied through social media? So what's the best content that people like, or the
So it depends. For instance, information regarding the congresses and the meetings are
hard
better.
news. That's
yes,
hard
news. Yes, they are better visualized on microblogging such as Twitter. So Twitter it's very well used and efficient to spread information, scientific information, updated information from the meetings.
So where people can get more information.
And more quickly, in near real time or in real time, you know. But also other data like, let's say, food allergy explained from last year or Yaki TV were more present, of course, on YouTube, where the video hosting is, but also on other accounts like Instagram. You know, on Instagram, people get more clicks than from other. For last year, what I was in our analyze. So data analyzed are important, but also enthusiasm is important, you know.
But I've also noticed that there's a huge number of people that like the Yaki Facebook page. So Facebook tends to have the strongest magnetic force for all of the social media. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why would you say that is?
Because it integrates social connections and visual data, everything in one platform. So we are now using Yaki TV integrated into Facebook and spreading, you know, data from the Yaki TV on Facebook. It's more technically possible and it's more efficient, you know.
Okay, where do you see social media heading for Yaki members, and how can you remain relevant?
So we have to be very attentive, very careful, very present to watch, to decide on a feedback analysis, you know. So I think in the future, more data visualized things will be better, you know, for Instagram, for YouTube, for Pinterest, of course. And we have to keep in mind that new platforms such as Pinterest, which is not so very used, has a unique one-of-a-kind tool to search images, because in the future, the search will be not only about keywords, it will be also with images. So our presence on several platforms is important in the future for online recognition of our Yaki logos and activities.
So it's the coordination of all of them.
Yes, right.
Actually, I have to say, I've been here for the last few days, and we've been talking a lot about social media, and Pinterest, you've mentioned for the very first time. So the three main ones have been Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the relevance for Instagram and Pinterest, for example?
For instance, Instagram has a huge diversity of users, first of all. It connects people in a kind of different way than Twitter. Pinterest is completely different. You can share and save images, which in fact there are links to our website, so we can increase the traffic on our website via different type of social media. And that's what I was saying about the online recognition of images. I think that will be important. And why not in the future augmented reality and artificial intelligence?
So you're moving way ahead into
we
the
will
future, but that's
see-
what you have to do, I guess.
Yes, and anything is possible in the future with social media, anything.
Okay.
Even connecting both types of communication. I mean,
course.
newsletter is being also advertised in social media, and it helps.
A newsletter ever advertise our activities.
But this isn't just about the creators of social media. I mean, you get excited. Communication is an interesting thing. But it comes back to overload on the part of the consumers of this. So how do you think through to remain relevant to EAACI members and prospective EAACI members in the future?
Well, I think that I've heard a phrase with what it is important for someone could be the most important thing, what is important. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that we have to remain, or to keep in mind what is important for everyone, so as to be, important for everyone.
Yes.
Not just because it's sexy for you.
No, okay.
No, of course. And sometimes you have to change a bit the strategy from, grabbing hands, from opening arms. Come if you want. If you're not, you are welcome on another platform. So the diversity of platforms should be used for the diversity of users,
So you want to be wherever your user wants to access.
Flexibility, usability, and of course, the importance and the relevance, and of course the update of everything which is happening within the EAACI and relevant for the users.
I will give you some feedback, which you might not know. At the opening, I wore the yellow sunglasses and said that if you follow on social media, you can get these really cool super sunglasses. And on day one of the EAACI Congress opening,
they were running out.
3,000 people went and claimed their sunglasses. So everybody at EAACI is super cool now, because I wore the glasses at the opening.
You stole the big thank you from us, because we wanted to thank you for the wonderful job you have done for EAACI social media in the opening ceremony. Thank you very much. Because we saw also the big impact that you have had there.
There's a lot of people did it, which is great. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You've got lots of work to do, I know, but thanks for joining us today, talking about what you're doing in social media and the newsletter, of course.
Thank you so much.
That's all from EAACI TV for now.